Hi, welcome to Empty Nest Creations. My name is Wendy. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you clicking on our video. Today we're going to be making this basket full of Easter carrots. These are super simple to put together. They just take a few supplies. Most everything comes from the Dollar Tree. The only thing that didn't come from the Dollar Tree is the fabric. And you can purchase the little bit of fabric that you'll need for this. You can purchase the fat quarters at Walmart, which are $1 a piece. It's really cost effective. So total for this project, I spent about $8. So if you're interested in seeing how we put this together, stick around. We'll go over the supply list and then we'll get started. Okay, so for this project, you're going to need some carrot jump ropes. I bought these at the Dollar Tree. I also saw some smaller carrots that were like Easter eggs that you could use. They also had some bubbles in carrots that were a little bit smaller. So you could definitely use that. You could use a cone to do these, but these are to get 2 carrots for $1. So I bought a couple of packages of these. You're going to need some fabric. And I went through and just pulled out anything that had orange tint to it. So I've got a pattern like this and one like this. This bigger orange pattern, polka dots. And then this pattern. And we're going to use this, tear it in strips, and I'll show you how I do that, to wrap around the carrots. You're going to need some of this onion grass that comes from the Dollar Tree. And I have several of them, but I don't think you're going to need but just a couple to do all 6 carrots. I also have some of this orange jute cord that comes from the Dollar Tree as well, that we'll be using to just kind of wrap around once we've finished. You're going to need some hot glue and some glue sticks, and you're going to need something to cut the rope with. And now I've seen several people do different versions of this, and so this is kind of my take on the rustic carrots. But some people are pulling the rope out, but this green piece is coming out with it, and I want to keep the green piece on the top. So I'm just going to try using these gardening shears and see if that will cut the rope. Maybe not. So let me try my scissors. I may end up having to oh no, the scissors cut it really easy. Okay, so we're just going to cut these off. So we'll do that with all the carrots, and let me show you how I'm preparing the fabric strips. So what you do is you take your piece of fabric, and you're just going to cut on one end. Just cut a strip, just a little piece like that. It's about an inch, maybe a little over an inch, and then you just tear it. And some of it tears straight. Let me find one that didn't tear so straight. See, this one didn't tear so straight. It got really wide. And some of the others tore down to where it just tore it off the end, but that's okay. The more ragged it looks, the better. And you'll probably need, I went ahead and tore 2 pieces of the longer fabrics. Some of them I had like a full piece of fabric, and so they're much longer strips. This piece that I just tore was from one of those fat quarters that you buy at Walmart, and so it's shorter, so I went ahead and tore 3 of those. But we can always tear more if we need it. So what we're going to do to get started is go ahead and cut off all the ropes from the jump rope. And I'm going to save the rope. I may use it for some other project later on. Just going to cut those off. Now, if you choose to use something that doesn't have the hole in the middle, then you're going to have to figure out a way to attach your greens. But these are going to go right in the middle. Not this full thing, though. But you can figure that out. Just glue them onto the top or something if you don't have the hole. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'll just take this first piece that I have, and I'm going to start by just adding a little glue right here on the bottom, and then take my fabric and just wrap it around the tip. Okay, and I'm going to add glue until that's stuck all the way around the tip. And then basically we're just going to start wrapping. So I'm taking this back piece and pulling it straight and folding this piece in so that I can wrap it. And I'm going to wrap right around the end to start with. So I'm going to add some glue and then wrap this around. And I just want to make sure that I cover this entire end piece with the fabric. Adding some more glue. And then just wrap that around so that the entire end piece is encased in the fabric. Now it's puckered up a little bit, but I can go back and just add a little more glue in there and just fold that down. And be careful, you will, the glue is warm, so it will burn you if you're not careful. So I just got it to where it's a nice little point. And now I'm just going to wrap my carrot. And every few wraps, I'll just add a little glue to hold it on. And I'm wrapping it pretty tightly, making sure that I overlap the fabric. And I want those raw edges to show, and I'm trying to wrap it pretty tightly so that I make sure that it holds tight to the carrot. Okay, and just wrap and add glue every few inches or every few wraps around. Okay. So this isn't going to take nearly as much fabric as I thought. I probably could have made 12 carrots with the amount of fabric that I tore off. Okay, so just wrap it around, and we're getting up to the top. And I want to make sure that I attach it to this top edge, and I'm going over the edge of the carrot. So I want this fabric to stick up above the top, and I'll show you why when we finish. We're just going to continue to wrap it around. And now it's just I'm sticking the fabric to the fabric. Okay, and I've got a little bit going around, so now I'm just going to trim this off, and I'm going to glue this edge down. Okay, glue this edge to the fabric. Okay, so now I've got like this little edge of fabric, and what we're going to do is once we put our greens in there, then we can use the twine to gather that around the greens. Okay, so we're going to do that again. Let me pick a different strip this time, and this one has a little piece of the printed edge from the fabric, so I'm just going to trim that off. Okay, so I'll show you one more time. We're going to put some glue on the bottom of our carrot and just glue that down. Okay, so the edge of the end of the carrot is completely covered with the fabric. So now we're going to start wrapping just like we did on the first one, pulling it tight and wrapping in and gluing as we go. And then I'm going to slowly open this fabric up so that we get both of the raw edges showing. And wrap around and around, pulling it tight, gluing every few twists. Okay. Then when you get to the top, you're just going to keep wrapping it around, making sure that it attaches to this top edge and going up to make a lip. Now we're just gluing the fabric to the fabric around the top. When you have enough that you can pinch it in, then you can just finish it off. Okay, so we'll do a couple more wraps around. Okay. Snip it off. Okay, so I'm going to continue to wrap the carrots until I get them all wrapped, and then I'll come back and show you how we're going to do the tops. All right, so I'll be right back. So this is all of the carrots covered. I only had 5 of the orange fabrics to start with, but I didn't want 2 of them to be exactly alike, so I went and found another fabric, and as you can see, this one isn't really orange. It has a little bit of brown and teal and green, and on the flowers, I don't know if you can pick that out, but there are some brown petals, and then there's some that look almost orange. But when you put this together with all of these other ones, it really looks fine. It really looks like it has orange in it. So now I have 6 that are all completely different. And so we're going to move on to the next step. And the next step is going to be to add our greenery. And now I went ahead and kind of separated this one stalk of onion grass out. And if you can see this, there are individual bundles of greenery. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these individual pieces off, and then I may add some of the extra. There's some extra around the outside, so I may add that if I need to, but I'm going to try one and just see what it looks like. So I'm going to use my wire cutters, and I'm just going to cut this off. And now this piece slides on and off. And so to keep that in place, I'm going to add some glue right on the inside here. I'm going to just put a little glue around the bottom of this centerpiece and then slide that one back up. Okay, so that should hold that in place. Now I'm going to see how that fits. And I'm going to just stick it all the way down into the carrot. That leaves just enough greenery sticking out of the top. And I think that looks okay, but I'm going to try and add one more and see what it looks like with 2 in there. Again, I'm going to add a little glue to this centerpiece and then just pull this one up so that they hold together. And then I'm going to add this one in and see if that looks. Okay, so there. So that's what it looks like with 2. And I think since I have plenty, I'm going to go ahead and use 2. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to gather this fabric from the top, kind of bundle it down, maybe use some glue to just tuck it down a little bit. Now the strings from this fabric, because we tore it, the strings are it's really fraying, but that's okay. That's the kind of look I was going for. So I'm just going to gather this in around the greenery, just pulling it down a little bit and adding some glue to hold it in place. Okay, so that's what we have so far. And I can continue to just fiddle with this until I get it laying like I want it. My glue stick keeps falling out of my glue gun. Okay, so I'm going to add a little more glue under here and just keep fiddling with that until I get it to look like I really want it, looking at the top. Okay, so now we're going to take some of this jute twine. And I'm going to glue this right here at the bottom. Just put a dot of glue there to hold that in place. And then I'm going to just begin, once that's good and held in place, I'm going to begin wrapping this around. And I'm going to wrap it around the top. And I'm going to put a little glue up here to hold this in place. And hold that for a second and let it grab on really good. And then I'm going to wrap back down, going the crossing over some of the pieces that have already been wrapped. And then just come back down to the bottom. I'm going to cut it off. And then we're going to glue it right back down here at the bottom. So now this is our finished carrot. And of course, you could add a bow at the top if you want. But this is just a rustic look. You can do this with the orange jute. If you can't find the orange jute, then just the natural jute twine would look just as nice. So, you know, just be creative with what you have or what you can find, and go crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of these, and then I'll show you when I get them all finished. So these are the completed carrots. I've done them all a little different. I pulled out some of the natural jute cord and wrapped some with natural jute. And then some with the orange. Some have a bow on the top and some don't. So they're all a little different. This one I actually just wrapped the orange jute going up the carrot and just glued it in a couple of spots along the way so it would hold. But With this project, you can let your imagination go wild. I've seen all different ones on Pinterest. Some people just wrap them in burlap. Some people have painted them white. So, you know, just whatever suits your decor and your theme for spring and Easter. But I think these will be really pretty in a basket. I used 2 pieces of the onion grass for each carrot. And in all, I used 2 bundles of the onion grass. Just the inside pieces. I didn't use any of the outside pieces. And I used well, almost 2 of this orange jute. And then, of course, I used just a little bit of the natural jute. But if you try this project, please show me your pictures. I'd love to see what creative ideas you've come up with. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this project or what you might do differently. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe and click the bell so that you will receive notifications on any of our future videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.